Hello, everybody, and welcome back to your Nebula series live stream. Today, originally we had two matches, if you remember that from last time. Sadly, we are only going to have one tonight, but it is going to be a fun matchup here. We have the Div 3 match of Cuddle Puddle facing off against MSU Esports. I am your host, producer, part-time caster, Caustic. And joining me tonight to help me cast these matches is going to be the lovely Nyx.
Hello, everybody. You guys saw a lot of me yesterday, but here I am again. Love being unemployed, just being able to actually for you guys. Division 3 today should be actually quite close. Like we've only been seeing a lot of 3 Overwatches this week and the past few weeks too. But both of these teams are towards like the bottom of the standings. But nobody wants to end on a loss, even if we're getting close to playoffs being clinched. So both teams have a lot to prove, not only to themselves but to each other as well, right? And let's take a look at the rosters. First up is going to be Cuddle Puddle, I believe.
Yeah, it is going to be Cuddle Puddle. They did just have a last minute switch, so I'm just going to finalize that right before we get into it. There we go.
Last minute swap.
Yeah, a last minute swap. So they're going to have Brooke on the tank. They originally had Pizza Bot, but a little bit of a last minute switch as they decided to put Brooke in to start off as the tank. They're going to have Andoryu and Geo as the DPS lineup. And in the back line, we're going to have Chris and Executie.
Exciting stuff. In the meantime, for MSU Esports, we're going to be having drum roll, King Vamp on tank, and Cadden and Shallots to DPS lineup, Medallias and Signcoast 10 as your support duo. Oh, some interesting character choices here. I mean, I don't think we're going to be like character choices are more so for fun, so players can kind of express themselves. But do you think we're going to be seeing Mercy, Caustic?
You know, normally I would say no, but I've been surprised before. I mean, we saw it in the past. I don't remember if it was this team exactly. I don't even remember what division it was, but we saw one team pull up with a Hanzo Mercy, and that pocketed Hanzo Mercy combo wreaked havoc on Control and, I mean, even Hybrid. So honestly, pretty possible, as we're actually going to be coming into Lijiang for the first map. It's always going to be Lijiang at this point.
What a surprise! Yeah. Lijiang Tower?
Yeah.
Who would have guessed that?
We should do a gamba for who's going to get what map it's going to be for the second hybrid. Everyone's going to know what it is.
I mean, if it's King's Row, I wouldn't be surprised. But again, we've seen some different maps on Hybrid. We've seen some Hollywood getting played. I believe we even saw it yesterday, too. Like, I believe a team chose Hollywood for their pick. Mm-hmm. And it's just comforting at this point. And in the meantime, teams are already showing what they're going to be playing. And no Mercy in sight. But we do see it. Okay, it's just hyper ringing probably. But a Lucio Moira backline with a Lucio on, I guess a Lucio Ana. And a Reinhardt Caustic.
Yeah, we do see the Rhine. We do see a Juno switch over from Chris just right before the actual fights get underway, and Brooke is going to try and take down this Ana very early. Is going to get the pick as well, and now the rest of the team is going to try and kind of collapse in on them. Their Lucio did fall fairly low, but is able to live in the process. Shouts, it's going to get taken down, and Doryu is going to find a pick onto the Lucio as well, but King Vamp is going to take down Chris in the process, and it looks, honestly, could go either way here. You don't have any of the supports on the side of Cuddle Puddle, but you did just take down their tank, and I think after that quick cluster of a fight, MSU Esports are in the better spot, but no cap of the point yet, and it's gonna go to Cuddle Puddle.
Okay, a lot just happened right there. MSU was not ready for the quick rotation. Hypering from Chris, really allowing Brooke to just go in and completely annihilate that Ana. But MSU actually came back with a couple of trades, but unfortunately it was not enough to capture the point. While being forced out early, so a lot of cooldowns happening. This Reinhardt's getting bullied. Caustic, oh my god, save him.
it looks like Brook was antied for a bit there. They are going to get a couple of punches in right at the end, but it's going to be interesting to see because King Vamp is getting close to this Shatter. Chalice is going to find a pick onto the Mei, which is going to be very helpful for MSU as that's kind of one of their speed things, and that's going to take down the support in the back line. Chris is the only one left for Cuddle Puddles on the support line. Brook does have the ult, but they're not going to pop it as the point is going to flip over to the side of MSU with 39% for Cuddle Puddle.
Oh, that was diabolical. The solo shatter onto the Moira. Again, Moira, a very slippery character. I probably was gonna fade out, especially because Sign had hit them with a nade. I mean, Shatter was invested, allowed them to flip 40% for Cuddle Puddle though, and you're gonna have some pretty strong ultimates coming in right now. Annihilation, Blizzard, those are so hard to properly kite, so it's gonna be on Medallies to be able to speed their team out.
We do see the Nano Blade coming in. Kaden slicing and dicing is going to find 2, is going to get 3. They are looking for the 4th on Brook. They aren't going to be able to get it with the blade, but they are going to get the right click kill confirm on them. And now Chris is the only one left as that's another fight going to MSU Esports. And Kaden, with the help of their Lucio, is going to find the, the pick. Okay.
Okay, that was looking a little bit scary for Kaden, but I mean, big stagger now. Like Chris, you just like completely lost at least a solid 5 seconds here for if you're Cuddle Puddle, and you only committed 1 ultimate for 3 actually, because the Tectonic Shock was also invested by Shallots. So you're in a good position to recontest this, but you need to kill this Lucio. You cannot let the beat go out.
The beat is going to get popped early. There is a freeze on the close to the point. Brook is going to take down Metals in the process. You do see the Moira Coalescence getting popped as well. Shallots is going to fall dangerously low, is going to be able to live, but they're going to have to be careful. Okay, the Moira Orb is not going to potentially take them down, but 75% on the side of MSU Esports on this first point on control is honestly a really good amount to start off with.
Yeah, Cuddle Puddle does have the orbital ray, which is the press Q to win, but Executing just immediately dies. Shatter is invested in Vamp, but oh my god, trades are happening right now. Back and forth. Yeah, it's gonna be cleanup from MSU. King Vamp does fall, but they're gonna come back quite fast, especially with Lucio Tax. Chris was not even able to press Q for the orbital. Geo did invest the overclock, but it found absolutely nothing. Now making a swap into the Genji, probably trying to match pace right now, because again, Overwatch is always a game about pace. We talk about this a lot in every extreme match, and right now MSU is just holding on to the tempo.
Okay, we are going to see the Juno ult come into play. They do have to contest the point because now they do have 99% for the side of MSU, but the point is going to get switched over to the side of Cuddle Puddle. They do take down 3 in that fight, and they find a stagger onto Kaden. So Shallots is going to just have to try and back out of that fight with the help of King Vamp, as there's not really much time left for MSU to kind of push in for a fight, but they do have the advantage of not having to cap or really make any point progress other than the 1% tick that they need. Now we do see Brook going into the punches. They are going to be antied as well, so that's going to force out the ult very quick, but they get slept in the back line. Kaden's going to pop the blade. They're going to find 1. They are watching the Mei to wait for them to get out of the icicle. The Mei is going to fall in the process. Shallots popping the Tectonic Shock of their own is going to find 1, and it's going to help take down Brook in the process. Geo now, the only one left on the point for the Cuddle Puddles, trying desperately to live, but they are going to fall. And now the point is going to flip over for the side of MSU. It's just a question of if anybody can contest, and they can't.
Oh my god, I am so shocked that MSU was able to recap that, because Brook had an amazing annihilation, cleaning up 2 on the backline. And I mean, the Nano Blade got his 1, but it wasn't able to capitalize on any more of the kills. But Shallots, with the Tectonic Shock, really invested onto that, just killing everybody else from Cuddle Puddle that I didn't even notice when they started to drop. And that's kind of like where the ult econ is very important in Overwatch. Everybody knows press Q to win. Everybody press Q. We're talking about that all the time as well. And it just somehow MSC just played that out better for the recontest. And it's gonna be, are we gonna be seeing this in Metro, or just gonna be a quick TP out, I think?
Honestly, I think, especially considering the comp they're running, I think they're gonna stick with the sim. I mean, you're playing a pretty good comp for up close and personal fights. And
Yeah, quite
yeah,
loves the Metro at this point
that's
too,
gonna be the
especially against
plan.
Orion.
Yeah. That seems to be the
Yeah,
plan. They're
for sure.
gonna see if they can get some picks and get somebody low, but Brooke's gonna take a little bit of an aggressive start to the fight. Shallots is gonna pop out, trying to take some damage, but is able to escape in time. King Vamp is obviously gonna try and poke out as much as they can, and they're gonna TP into the back line while they give MSU Esports the point. So now it's gonna be a question of how well they can, how well that plan will work, but the sleep and the anti-nade are going to take them down fairly quick, and Gio's going to be able to at least escape with their life. But that's a quick point progression, quick point
Cap for
cap
MSU.
for MSU. Yeah, I'm stuttering.
And look at
today.
their ultimate charge. Yeah, it's okay. English is hard. And look at the MSU ultimate charge. They're gonna have the nano. They're gonna be coming up. It wasn't very much of a misplay for Cuddle Puddle, and now it's gonna be harder to go back into this, especially with ultimates. Medallions, yes, his counterpart. Chris immediately falling. King Vamp going in with the fire strike, and it's just cleanup duty right now. And nothing needed to be invested too. So again, we're gonna be 5 ultimates online from MSU, and Cuddle Puddle is gonna make the Symmetra swap, realizing that yeah, we can no longer TP in. They had their opportunity cost take, and they just kind of fail on that. Instead of Bookery up, making the choice to TP onto the backline, it really cost them.
Yeah, honestly, okay, slam coming into play. You do see the beat as well. King Vamp is gonna find the pin on Brooke and is going to be able to take them down before they could get the ult to try and save themselves. Chris is the only one left, and they're going to get picked off in the process as well, and that's going to be a team kill for a team kill for MSU on Cuddle Puddle. As I was gonna say, like the sim pick I think is fine, but after the first or second time that you try it on the same map, you have to switch it up, because at that point they're going to expect the TP. You no longer have the element of surprise to work in your benefit. As we see the Moira ult get used first, you do see the Nano Blade coming into play as well, but the beat to counter it. Both support ults used for Cuddle Puddle, and the slicing and dicing isn't going to get anybody, but the tectonic shock's going to find Chris, and trying to wait out the Mei isn't going to be able to find a pick with the ult, but is going to be able to get the pick with help from Caden's dash. And now Executi is going to fall to King Vamp, and time is ticking. Gio's really the only one that might be able to touch, and that's going to be it.
Oh my god, and you didn't notice the caustic, but King Vamp took Brooke off the map with the Reinhardt pick too. They were ulting with an Annihilation, and King Vamp was like, nope, you're not killing my team, I'll be the hero, pins them, and I believe they just spin them out of the map, because from what I saw, I don't believe they hit a wall at all. And again, once MSU took control at that point, you needed to make some quicker adjustments if you're Cuddle Puddle. I like the swaps they made. It was just unfortunate that the O econ was just not in your favor. I am always down for a Cole engage. Coalescence is ultimately, once again, you farm it very quickly too, and that healing plus damage potential, it can be pretty good to open up a fight. It just turns out that MSU still had their beat, still had their Nano Blade, and unfortunately Chris's beat was not able to have them like live through all of that. It was just too much. So it was gonna be a quick 2-0 coming from MSU Esports right now, who are looking actually quite strong.
Yeah, honestly, I like what I see if I'm the coach for MSU just coming into this first map, or after this first map. Keep in mind, it's always tough. A 2-0 score doesn't look that good on paper, but you have to factor in that first map, that first
it was
point,
super close,
99 to 100 basically. Like 2-0 doesn't tell the full story. But now the interesting question comes: what's the hybrid pick? I mean, you always expect King's Row at this point. So
I'll say, if I were Cuddle Puddle, I would not choose King's Row, especially because we saw MSU going for the Reinhardt pick. I mean, I'm not sure if they study what MSU likes to run. They might be prepared for a dive too, so maybe Hollywood will be a little bit dangerous. I am also always a Paraiso fan. Nobody seems to like that map for some reason. But knowing the teams, I would assume Cuddle Puddle would choose King's Row, but if I were them, I would go to a Paraiso instead. That would be my choice if I were the coach.
So your map guess is going to be Paraiso?
I believe they're going to choose King's Row. I just don't think that's the best choice.
Okay. The reason I ask is because you have that undefeated map choice thing on the line with
That is
every
true.
map that comes up. I mean, control's kind of the gimme. So I kind of want to see you lock in your answer.
I'm lucky in Kings Row, but I would not be upset if we saw Paris. I just don't think Hollywood's a dangerous game, especially if MSU continues to running this Ana. If they have an Ana, they probably have a dive player, probably a Winston. Hollywood tends to be a little bit scary. Kings Row is going to be hard if they continue taking the Rhine duel right now. But again, it allows you to be a little bit more silly. We saw a little bit of May getting played too, so we might be able to see some May, so maybe some Junkrat. And again, Zenyatta against a Rhine is always fun. So I do think Cuddle Puddle is going to bring us to our lovely scrims row.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm going
I could be
to.
wrong.
I'm just making sure really quick to be safe because I'm so not used to doing the whole attack or defense parts for. Oh, Lord.
Making the swaps.
Yeah, that's my Achilles heel basically, is making the swaps.
You do know you can swap all, right?
Yes. However, I have to change the names and all the specs. That's the unfun part. However, I will say, originally Dusty was going to be the caster duo for today, wasn't he?
Well, Dusty for Gore, he had prom, so
fair enough. And I mean,
it's prom season.
You know, Dusty's, I guess not the best luck with map choices.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
So I guess in some way or another, Dusty's here in spirit because they are going to go to Hollywood. The one map you
they
said
are
they
going
didn't
to
want
go
them
to
to
Hollywood.
go to.
I'm surprised about the choice. Again, I think it is a very dangerous pick. Because again, you saw Psychostan just hitting those nades time and time again. That's kind of partially why Brooke was having such a hard time surviving, because Ramatra just has a lot of survivability, but an empty nade can be potentially devastating. And if you have an Ana, you kind of expect your team knows how to play a dive too, right? Could it be like a Winston dive, a Diva dive? Not sure. Winston's most likely on that end. And Cuddle Puddle did not show anything with the dive. Maybe we might see a diva out of that. Again, if they choose to stick with the Ramatra and for example, they're holding on defense, it's gonna rest a lot on the shoulders of Brooke with that slow to make sure that Winston doesn't get to their backline instead. Because that's the problem with dive, right? You either are able to completely stop the dive early on, or you need to be able to counter it very quickly. Otherwise, your team is just gonna fall like dominoes.
All right, and I mean, I guess in the meantime, just as I wait to get R from both teams, we do have 2 swaps coming in, one for both teams actually. So Cuddle Puddle is going to be bringing PizzaBot back into the match, as PizzaBot's going to be coming in for tank, switching out with Brooke, and on the side of MSU, Ninji is going to be coming in to replace Shallots. So
which roles? DPS?
You've got a tank switch for Cuddle Puddle, and you've got a DPS switch for MSU.
Okay, that's interesting. We kind of we're kind of discussing about the dive too. So seeing Pizza Bob probably more of a dive specialist, dive tank than Brooke is probably more comfortable with that. We're seeing a diva being shown, which again, it's a very good character here.
Right.
King Mep is gonna run the Rhine.
I mean, the diva definitely falls under the dive category in my eyes. I don't hate the Rhine pick, as weird as it seems. I think if you're playing for something like height and you know that you're going to be seeing a dive hero, and you know those dive heroes are probably going to want to play up in personal, going someone like Rhine at least confirms if it is a diva, which you're never sure about, you can at least do damage with the swing of your.
Yeah, but you're gonna be very reliant on Medalli's like speeding around from his high ground. Second year drop is gonna be dangerous, especially against a Far Mercy. One good boop, everybody on MSU is just gonna get big disrupted right now.
That is the downside, as PizzaBot is gonna try and jump in, but is gonna get kind of booped off And now they're kind of switching over to playing onto the point, giving up the high ground, but that could be a bit dangerous considering the fact that you have this Fari and Mercy combination as they take down the Mei, and they're going after Sin, or yes, Sign next. Sign is going to be able to retreat, at least for now. The teams have not yet kept the objective, or even one of 3 ticks, as now it seems like that's going to become their focus. Kaden is trying to kind of see where they can potentially get some picks or even just an entrance, as 2 out of the 3 ticks are going to be capped for Cuddle Puddle just to start off. PizzaBot is going to get taken out of their mech though, which is not a good situation. However, I mean, you still have most of your team with you, so you do have the possibility of getting rid of that. But with the Ryan coming at you like that, you're not gonna be able to, as they are gonna get taken down. And only 2 ticks for Cuddle Puddle just to start off, but that's still a pretty decent amount of ticks, just considering that was really your first fight or your first push attempt.
Very extended, like, first fight as well. And again, you're gonna have a lot of ultimates coming in. You're gonna have the rush to quick gauge here. You're gonna have the barrage, and again, executing and Andrea is gonna be like raining so much damage from above. It's gonna be on Kaden to really contest this Pharah, but with a Kiriko poking at you, it also gets a little bit scary. Sign falling low, but getting a little bit of carry now. It's gonna be on the beat coming soon, and the Sooner Rush is out from Chris, so any ultimates are gonna be invested here.
You do see the beat from Medalist. It's gonna be interesting to see though. The big ult that I'm waiting for is either Andoryu or Kaden. Those are gonna be the big concerns. But Vamp does have the slam, so it does look like they're not gonna pop those ults yet. Kaden's gonna pop the ult to take down Execute, and they're trying to take down Andoryu in the time, but the Curie is gonna be able to give them the aid that they need to at least stay alive. That's big if you're the side of Cuddle Puddle, because now you know that High Noon, arguably the ult that gives them a guaranteed kill if you're a Pharah up in the air, especially using Barrage. You now know that is no longer in play, and PizzaBot's got a pretty good spacing ult if you consider the bomb on the point. That bomb can be deadly, especially considering it's a Rhine who can only really shield one direction. As PizzaBot is gonna pop the ult here. Isn't gonna find a pick yet. You do see the freeze come in, and there's the barrage that I was expecting, but they get slept in the process. You've got a Nano Ryan on the point trying to defend this point as long as they can. Sin, dangerously low, is going to fall. The Ryan does take down Geo, and it looks like that is going to be the point cap for Cuddle Puddle, and they are able to revive Geo in the process, as well as King Vamp just has to try and get back as fast as they can and not get picked. But Kaden, who's trying to help out, is going to get taken down in the process, and that's not a good pick considering the point cap like 5 seconds prior.
Yeah, because now you're gonna get a long spawn here, and I mean, it was a big barrage. Very good patience coming out from Andoryu to really the blizzard, and then just like try to capitalize on it. It was for the barrage raining from above. King Vamp finds Chris, but it's a Kiriko. Kiriko's going to get a very quick spawn here. Blade coming out of Geo finds absolutely nothing. He got shut down by King Vamp on this Reinhardt. Swinging the hammer is scary right now. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I don't want to discredit anything from that play from the support. I mean, that was a good play. Honestly, from what I could tell, I think Sin was trying to use the nade to heal their team, and in the process anti Geo, who was diving in with the blade to try and get some picks, which helped them secure the kill. But
Anti-nade is scary, and Rizzo's dead, so no Suzu out on a point. Executing, try to fight into the high ground, stay alive. Again, MSU is gonna have 3 ultimates, 4, 5 almost, because Signing is able to build this Nano quite fast with the Reinhardt damage. Ninja, though, falling low. Geo slicing and dicing, getting his pick. Executed with the Valk out, so it's gonna be okay to really try to contest Mercer or kill her. Maybe we see a High Noon coming up soon, but it doesn't look like it.
I don't know if we'll see the High Noon to try and actually get an elim here, considering just how much pressure PizzaBot's putting on Kaden, as King Vamp is going to find one person with the slam, but is going to fall in the process. Medalist does try and use the beat, but it's not going to be able to save King Vamp in time, and now they just have to try and get back as fast as they can, but they are going to get taken down in the process. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't see Kaden using the High Noon to try and get a pick in this situation because of just Pizza Bot being so much in their face during a lot of those fights. It's going to be hard for them to really use the space that they would to potentially get a pick, but I could be wrong here. Geo does use the deflect, and there is no pick coming out from that. You're going to see the Kitsune Rush get picked. Pizza Bot is low. They are going to pop the bomb. We see just like a Q dump here. The MSU Esports, it's only King Vamp left. They don't have any supports to keep them alive, and that is going to be the second point for Cuddle Puddle, with roughly 2 minutes to try and get to this third point and full cap. But King Vamp's going to switch over to Winton.
Yeah, now we're making some expected swaps. I think it's a little bit late into the match, but I do like the Winston's pick, especially against the D.Va. D.Va cannot eat for the Tesla Canyons, so you can really just mitigate Pizza Bot's most value, which is the Matrix, and just get out quickly, especially with Sign just healing you in the backline. We do see a Nano coming out. We're probably going to see a Nano Winston coming soon, but Kaden just picks off Andorio very quickly, so now in Cuddle Puddle, if you're staying there, you're going to get staggered, and you definitely don't want that. Just go back spawn, heal up, and then regroup so you can actually make an engaged play on here. And we're seeing the swap onto the Reaper. Not wanting to deal with that Winston. I don't want to deal with the Monkey right now. It's time to kill them with the shotguns.
I don't hate this pick at all. It's gonna be really effective for them, as they're immediately gonna find the pick. And you see the Nano onto the Lucio, just trying to keep your supports alive. I don't want to give anybody any flack, but Metals, lower your sense, man. That is crazy.
Hey, you can't stop, won't stop, Caustic.
I play low sense. Yeah, I play low sense. So it looks crazy to me, but if it works for you, it works for you. You're in this div and you're ranked for a reason. You're higher than I would ever be.
It's like the one thing about the nanos, Caustic, not only kept them alive for long enough, but Dallas was able to farm a beat out of that. We see the Blizzard coming out, Great Wall trying to really capture them on their rotation. It's not gonna freeze anybody, but it's gonna allow them to almost demech Pizza Bot super quickly. Pizza does have the bomb to get their quick remech, and it's Kitsune out from Grizz right now. Beat comes out from Dallas, and Kaden has the blade, but is he able to find anything? Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it.
They're gonna find one at least with the help of King Vamp. But is it too little too late? You do have the Winston ult, the Rampage, to just kind of try and contest as long as you can. It's going to be interesting to see if that works out. The Mei is flying, using the Valk, just trying to heal everybody, keeping the team alive. And I mean, it's you don't really have many ults left, as Andorio is gonna get 2 picks with the Blossom, and that's really gonna do it. Sin is the only one left to potentially even contest, but with this kind of with these numbers, you're not really gonna be able to contest for long, so that's gonna be a full cap on Hollywood for the side of the Cuddle Puddles. I mean, no time left, so you have that going for you. If you're MSU Esports, you have the time advantage at least, but still, those are really hard fought fights, and it's gonna be interesting to kind of see how the teams try and adapt coming in on the attack defense switch for this next half of the match, I guess.
Yeah, Pizza Bot proving why they were swapped in. Like the D.Va pick, really, again, as much as they got demagged, you just farm bombs super quickly, and you don't use bomb as a tool to get kills. You use it as a remech tool, and if you get 1 or 2, even better, but that's not going to be a priority here. MSU, I think they just made some swaps a little bit too late into the map, especially when, if you want to play the Winston, you want to play for the high ground control, right? Especially against a D.Va when they have a Farm Mercy up in the skies and a Kiriko just pushing payload. You want to be able to take those high ground controls from Cuddle Puddle, and that just came a little bit too late. It was not that Orion wasn't being effective. Again, the hammer is a little bit scary too, because Geo cannot deflect that, Pizza Bot cannot eat for that, but it's just the power of high ground in Hollywood. It's just a very dive oriented map, especially when you are trying to go for the second point here. And we're going to see King Vamp sticking on to the Winston choice, which I'm not surprised, but with a Lucio Moira backline, which that kind of surprises me.
I like the Sig pick here from Pizza Bob. I really like the Ashe pick. I don't know how much value it's going to get, but I feel Ashe is a character that doesn't get picked much and should get picked. They have a lot of good tools, as the Rock is going to hit King Vamp, and they're already down Ninja. They're already down one of their DPS, and the tank's gone too, and now the teams just kind of have to try and fall back as fast as they can. But Kaden tries to take someone down, is going to find a kill with the deflect, and is going to be able to live as well. But
I mean, yeah, but Mercy gets the res off, but it's fine. It's a great poke composition coming out from Cuddle Puddle. You're gonna get a lot of spam there. Sigma, you have Soldier, and Soldier always hurts. Ashe Dynamite, especially damage boosted. You're gonna farm Bob very fast if you're able to hit 1 or 2. And Geo just immediately annihilates Ninja. Ninja's not able to survive that. Now, how do you rotate this? You need to be able to catch, like, go a quick dive and so your team can go in. But you're already down 1. I'm surprised they're choosing to commit to this dive.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of
They're in a terrible spot right now.
As much healing as they can. They don't have the shield to potentially save them, as they are going to find the care to keep them alive in that situation. But the ability usage might be the death of them here. They do have the shield that is going to keep them alive, but they have to be really careful, as Geo is going to walk into the shield and take them down. 4? And Geo's popping off.
Oh my gosh, Sojourn, this character, I'm so surprised she didn't get nerfed. Why is she still allowed to be strong? And again, Karen to King Vamp came at the cost of Kaden. So with all the Genjis to really contest the Ashe and the Soj, how you're gonna survive that? Eventually your team is just gonna fall like dominoes. We see the swap onto the Hazard, probably look for a little bit of a one-pick potential with the dice. The wall gets eaten by Pizza Bob with the Sigma feed, and a Rock coming out. King Vamp is just getting bullied right now.
Ooh, Pizza Bob is fairly low. They are going to live. You do see the Sig ult get popped in the process. It is going to get King Vamp too, which is a very big pick, especially considering the time that you have left. Sin did pop the Coalescence, but now they're in a really rough situation, as they just have to try and get back as fast as they can without getting staggered. And considering the Sig, the Sig was really trying for that pick through the Rock and everything, just hoping that you could get that pick. But
and we're going back to
Ryan.
I mean, comfort pick at this point, right? Probably getting tired of taking too much poke, but your shield is gonna get melted down real quick, and you're still gonna hurt by this dynamite because you don't have a scissor to cleanse any of these negative effects. You do have double DPS ult coming online against the Geo's overclock, so unless Geo is able to get 2, MSU is not in a terrible spot right now. And it's 1. Oh my god! And more?
It's
no,
2.
That's Kaden. It's a trade though, so you don't have executing online, so you cannot get the rest. Chris finds Medallions, and King Vamp eventually finds Geo, so it's a 2v1 on point, I believe, right now. The Kiriko try to keep the Sigma alive, but it's not looking very likely.
This isn't the best situation to be in, and that's likely going to do it. I don't think Execute is going to be able to fly in and get a res at this point, so that objective is going to go to the side of MSU. But I mean, you held that for so long, and now
over time, and you need to push all the way too. And again, now it's where Ryan gets harder to be played into this, because the high ground controls are going to be there. You need to walk into this. You're going to be walking to the dynamite. You're going to be walking into a Soldier Vortex. It's just going to be so painful. Executing, getting the Valkyrie, damage boosting your team. Big Nate coming out though. It catches 3, but Pizza Bot does have trade since life, and Pizza Bot doesn't want to give this high ground control, but eventually they need to yield. The Reinhardt's hammer just doing so much for them. Chris does have the Kitsune, but I don't believe they're going to invest this. This is a team fight loss. You need to be able to get out here. And if you're Pizza Bot, you don't want to get DMAxed right now.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're Pizza Bot in that situation where you're kind of trying to decide, do I give up the high point control or not, considering the slam was in the back pocket of King Vamp, you really would have preferred to drop and not have to deal with the slam. So it was the right play, but the slam does find a good amount of targets, and that's going to be a lot of progress on the second objective here. But
it's
you still
looking like a quick cap.
It is. You've got both of your DPS ults, and you've got that beat coming in as well. You do
Rush
see
comes out.
one from Ninja. You see... Ooh. The res is going to come in, but they are going to get taken down right afterwards, and the Curie TP is going to at least save them from getting picked again after the res. But honestly, good amount of ults, and that's your second objective, Captain. You've got 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, from going to an overtime situation to now having 2 minutes, you're not. And oh my god, you're gonna be able to get a double pick right here. This Kate immediately annihilate the back. But not able to sustain for that, and getting a third on Pizza Bot as they try to use bomb aggressively, I believe, or just try to remac, but unfortunately not able to get that. And now we're seeing a Ryan mirror here, deciding to match fire with fire, because again, it's very Ryan against the Diva. You cannot eat for the hammer, so you want to be able to heal the backline, but you're not getting access to that because your backline is getting traded out. And Pizza Bot gets Kaden though, already the Reinhardt pick already proving to be useful.
Yeah, honestly, the Rhine mirror, you love to see it. It's that whole if you can't beat them, join them scenario. And the only thing that I would worry about if I'm Pizza Bot right here is, I mean, you've got the slam. That's the big question. Is assuming you've been able to have somebody ult track for most of this fight, you know that they probably have another slam coming in. It's going to be a question of how fast can you build it up for yourself, because
because you have a lot of stronger ultimates, but it doesn't matter because you gets picked up early. And now I believe that's a nano into King Vamp as well. Pizza Bot gets anti, so it's gonna be it's not looking good. I think it's gonna be a cap, and it's gonna cap with over a minute on the clock. No, so we're still gonna get another round.
Yeah, we are going to see a minute 59 of OT for MSU, and I believe a minute for Cuddle Puddle.
Cuddle Puddle. Yeah, a minute on the clock. And if you're Cuddle Puddle, you're not feeling too terrible about this either. You kept first way faster than they kept first. Both were still like very down to the wire. But MSU Sports was put on the overtime situation there. And now you're probably wondering, I'm gonna they just stick with the comfort picks because MSU tried everything. They tried Winston, they tried Hazard, they tried, and then just went back to the Reinhardt. So I'm expecting them to probably just stick with their comfort pick. Pizza Bot on that Sigma was getting so much done on their defense, so we're probably going to be seeing that when it's their turn to try to defend this objective. But yeah, right now we're just going to see the Reinhardt with the Mei, very similar stuff to what they have been running right now.
Now, obviously Caster Curse, it exists. That's a floating candle. It does exist. I don't want to curse this into potentially being swapped out, but if you're Endoryu, you're set up relatively well in the fact that Pharah, there's no hit scan. Your biggest threat is either
It's the Ana.
It's the Ana or the Mei right clicks. Those are honestly like your biggest threats, which is a great position to be in considering the limited time that you have left to cap as many objectives as you can, and your first target is probably going to be that Ana once you figure out what they're all running for their full composition. As Ninja, the right click, that was the second threat that I talked about, and Caden's going to be able to take down Execute before they can get the revive as well. So that's a really rough situation. Pizza Bot is going to try and back cap, but they're going to get staggered in the process, and now that's going to give MSU a bit of an opportunity to kind of walk up and take some space back before having to kind of retreat a little bit. But that's a really good pick to get. Pizza Bot is now only really coming back to the fight, and there's only really 10 seconds left, so
Mano Cryo though,
last fight.
I mean, Endoryu needs to get a quick pick onto the Zana, but it's so hard to push past this. But Medalia's falling dangerously low, doesn't die though, so now it's just Science standing on the high ground, needs to drop. Pizza Bot trying to commit for the dive, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough. And Endoryu's getting harassed by a Genji, and King Vamp in the meantime just killing their backline. Geo does find one, Endoryu finds one, but a res comes out somehow.
The res.
The Kiriko is back, but the numbers are not in your favor. You do have spawn advantage though.
The numbers might not be in your favor, but you...
The big barrage. Nice.
You saw the slam get popped as well, just in a desperation thing, and a hope that maybe the Pharah was on the ground, but the barrage just came in. That being able to move while using barrage perk is just a game changer for a lot of the ult uses, but now you've got to be careful. You cannot get off of this payload. You can't.
And you're keeping probably one person. It's gonna be probably your Curious, and she can heal a little bit from further afar. And now MSU has a high ground control, so it's gonna be a lot of damage raining down, especially because Ninja does have the Blizz. So it's either gonna be on Pizza Bot to eat that, which is always hard to do, or it's gonna be on a Miracle Pick coming out from either Chris or Gio as soon as they ult. But Execute does get the Valkyrie off, but Kaden finds Endorius already down Yafari in a bad spot, and Nanoblade comes out, yes too, and it's looking like a cleanup crew for MSC right now. The bump tries to remake, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. It's not the squish. The squish is not gonna happen, and it's gonna be a hold on first point still. Not too bad of a push. Again, you full capped, and that's more than you can expect usually in these overtime situations.
You put the pressure on here. I mean, sure they have 2 minutes. You only had one, but you got 1 point, or at least you got that one objective capped. That's big, because now if you full hold, there's no concern about a tie or anything like that. You've at least guaranteed, if you can full hold, you guarantee a map win. On an overtime map, that is, on overtime especially, that is really, really exciting.
Yeah, but MSU does have 2 minutes. It took double that basically to get there first. Cap. But this time, King Vamp is not playing any games. They're like, I'm not gonna try this other picks. I'm not gonna play what is conventional. I'm gonna play what works for me, what works for my team. We're seeing Sign going into the Kiriko. We'll see if they will stick with that. I don't think so. We saw the Moira Lucia backline coming first. We get some little dance parties going, a little bit of a barbecue. Pizza Bot is on the Sigma. Same compositions that actually won. Cuddle Puddle held them for so long too, and MCO was able to cap. Andorio, again, Dynamites is gonna be a little bit scary. Gio with the soldier and finding so many picks every time. And the oh, that's evil, Pizza Bot. That's evil. Diabolical.
I am so happy I had that ready for the switch. Oh, that's
you know
great.
they practiced that in a custom lobby time. Getting falling low though, does get picked up by Gio.
Early.
Okay, Cuddle Puddle went for a long rotation here, really trying to flip the map onto MSU, but it's not gonna pay off right now. I mean, now you're in danger spot if you're Cuddle Puddle though, because you need to worry about the people who are behind you, and you know you're gonna have two coming back from spawn right now, and one of them is the Genji, so your Sojourn and actually like a prime target. Your attention is very divided right now.
Yeah, that divided attention is always a tough thing to deal with, and King Vamp was able to get the healing that they need. Caden's gonna fall again, and that's really tough to deal with. You only have a minute left, and you haven't really gotten any payload or objective progress yet, and you've got to figure out what you want to do to kind of get into this fight and kind of at least get some progress on the objective. And you don't have long
looking like
to
an
figure it
overtime
out.
front. Yeah, Sign does have the nano. One good nade too could be devastating for Cuddle Puddle. Execute does get a Valkyrie out early, so it's gonna be a lot of damage coming from Cuddle Puddle. And especially if Gio can get farm their overclock, MSU is not in a good spot, especially because Katie and Medallions are falling dangerously low, but the care is decent enough. Does have the beat on live, but it doesn't matter. Cannot get it off on time. Kaden also falls, and now 3, 2, 1. They're just dropping like dominoes. Nano comes out into King Vamp though. Face for Pizza Bot, but Execute is still alive. It's not for long. I kind of guess I cursed her. My bad, gang.
The Bob
Sign getting the pick
point.
onto the Mercy.
The Bob on the point, that could be really beneficial.
It's not contesting though.
Oh, it was so close yet so far, but now the overtime is ticking. Chris is gonna pop the ult.
Oh no, Chris. And Executing's a terrible spot. She's gonna get picked off, so that's a big stagger. You only have the Flux right now.
Ooh.
And this is still a pretty decent push here on Caustic that you have to do.
This is a decent push, but if Pizza Bot is doing what I think Pizza Bot's doing, this is a dirty play, and I love it.
I mean,
I am
they
all
need to
here.
get the big Flux, but Medallions does have to be to
for
counter
the big
that.
flux, but you've got to be, well, not even the sense of.
Are they not gonna be able to contest?
The swim.
Oh my god, they do.
Oh, so they do play it properly. That's always the big question, because if everybody's on the payload and the flux comes in, you have the possibility of having you lose the match just from the
Sig
flux taking
9.
everyone off the Sig 9, but that's gonna do it. MSU come back and win in OT.
A valiant attempt coming out from Cuddle Puddle, and what a long map too. So
Yeah.
I was a doubter of Hollywood. Again, my bad. I was not familiar with the game Cuddle Puddle, even though we played each other. I am so sorry. I owe for
Oh,
my microphone dead. Don't worry, it fell down.
even your
Okay.
microphone was so surprised it just decided to stop.
Guys, it just died
Yeah.
itself. And again, the plugs coming up from Pixabot, it was a brave attempt to get the Sig 9 as we call it. Unfortunately, King Vamp was just a little bit out of the edge enough, so they didn't get caught and they're still contesting to the payload. And at that point, MSU just had more ultimates. They had the beat, they had the shatter, they had the blade. So we were not able to capitalize onto your one ultimate that you had. And an overtime push on a 5-4 map, nothing to scoff at. We kind of were calling this is going to be close. It's still looking like a 2-0, but again, scores don't tell the full story here. These maps are incredibly close.
Honestly, I'm still at a loss for this entire game. Like this is the kind of Overwatch matchups that you want to see, where it's two teams that are equally matched. Like we've had it before, especially with, I mean, the lower divs, you notice it a little bit more, but we've had it before where it's, as sad as it is to say, one team feels like the dominant team, right? And this case, it's so neck and neck. It feels like at any point the momentum can switch in one team's favor and that team can just roll with it and take the whole game, you know? So
That's true. And what a better map to get momentum on than Flashpoint.
yeah.
But before that, we're going to have a 5-minute bio break. Everybody get some water, go to the restroom, get a snack if you have one, and we see you back in 5 minutes.
Yeah, we will be back. All right, welcome back, everybody. We've just finished up the bio break. We do have some
Hope
switches
everybody got water.
coming in. Yeah, definitely. Especially after those first two matches, you'll need some water. We do have some switches coming in. We are going to have Brooke coming back in to replace Pizza for the Cuddle Puddles for their tank. And Shallot's coming back in, and Ninji is going back onto the bench for MSU. And the map is Saravasa.
Yeah, it's always Saravasa. I mean, I know one person, and I think crazy. So, opinion invalidated. Saravasa is just more fun Flashpoint map, and it's curious to see them coming back in with their same swaps there we saw on Control. I'm expecting very similar compositions from what we saw there. We saw the Ramattra coming in from Cuddle Puddle, and we saw a little bit of Adventure too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So that Saravasa Venture Genji is a little bit nowadays is like a little bit of a classic, you could say.
Yeah.
You see that happening all the time. It's a very strong DPS duo to really go in, get some quick kills, and just get out. Especially like dig and dashes is just annoying to go against. And yeah, so far that's what they're showing. So no surprises.
For MSU Esports, I mean, this is typical comp, what you would expect. Not going to comment on Cuddle Puddle's comp just because I have a feeling that it's not going to be their actual comp. Just gonna,
I feel like we're getting baited. I don't think we're going to sell Lifeweaver, right?
I feel like this is the obvious bait, so let's just give them a couple seconds and what?
Yeah, it's okay. I don't hate it. Seeing
just wasn't
out in a
Torb.
Torb. It is a quite fantastic pick because, again, MSU's composition thrives in being able to get very quick kills. And Torb, he's short, but he's beefy, man. He's not going to die that quickly. The Overload is just a very good survivability tool. And the turret damage poke does a lot to really force Kaden to pull down early. Sign already falling low, does not get picked up as well as Kaden, though, and it's going to brawl on the front line. This Queen Axe hurts a little bit. The care is good from Chris and Executing, though. But MSU is going to take first point control.
Ooh, King Vamp was dangerously low, but they are going to be able to live. I mean, that shout, the bonus health from that is very helpful, but they are going to fall now. The point did go to the side of MSU, at least to start off, but as the fight kind of continued, it's now going to switch over to Cuddle Puddle. And honestly, the Juno Moira pick, I don't hate it for a backline. I know a lot of people would question the Moira, but I mean, Moira is very good at healing the target that they're focused on healing. So if you,
I mean, it's also good against the Genji, right? Because Kaden has been a menace his whole game character, and that's why also I don't hate the Geo. I'm just more surprised we're seeing her because King Vamp does have the Queen ult, so Asuzu really just mitigates that fully. Getting already falling dangerous low, the more Execute is just on Genji, watch out right now, really being able to contest him on the high ground. Venture coming in from the back line does not get anything, eventually does find Brooke, and that's a quick rampage outcome from King Vamp, and it's going to be a cleanup crew for MSU Esports.
Yeah, I mean, you are right about the whole, the cleanse for the Queen ult, but I feel like in this kind of situation, calculated. Yeah, I feel like in this situation, given the heroes that you have, like Moira's really the only one that's going to be able to counter that Genji without having to kind of switch up your composition's idea. So I kind of understand why they would go with Moira as opposed to Akiri, just in that regard, as we do see the Juno ult and the beat to counter it, but still a lot of ults on the board. Middleless has the Kiri ult that you do see the pulse come in to take down the tank of Vamp, and now the clock is ticking. MSU Esports was at 99%. It is gonna flip.
And you still have a lot of ultimates from both sides right now, Caustic. So it's you're not in a terrible situation. It's gonna be a 99 to 99 situation here. Medallions does have the rush, so especially the blade, Genji just becomes so fast with a Kitsune rush. So, but the Molten Core into the point. Oh, I might be dying, chat.
Yeah, the Molten Core, you do see the blade as well, but the Molten Core is gonna get the pick from the blade. That is That is a very tough pick to have for MSU Esports. That Blade is such a good ult, but
The Torbjorn
molten
Molten Core was
yeah.
stronger this time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
And
molten core
Madonna
just-
does also use the Kitsune Caustic. So now they are down support ult on that. I'm not sure if we wanted to commit that ultimate, especially because quick tool to engage and get a quick point. The good news though is that Cuddle Puddle also has absolutely nothing in shots coming up on their first Tectonic Shock.
Right, and they do have the Tectonic Shot. They're not going to use it right away. I kind of like this idea. Go in the back line, try and get one, but you got to be careful with that Torb because Torb can do a lot of damage. And they are going to be able to find a pick on the Moira at least, as the Torb fell just a little bit before. And they are going to start capping this second objective. And
Yeah,
you
Kaden
have
got
a lot
two
of
to the
ults.
point.
Yeah, you have a lot of ults at your disposal, and they're gonna find Andoryu just kind of hiding in the back line, and it's gonna be a question though, how many people are gonna try and focus on that as they are able to kind of realize, oh yeah, wait, it's just a Tracer in the back line. We've got to focus on the rest of the team that's gonna be coming up against us in a bit.
Oh, Sign, don't die. I'm trying to challenge the Tor moment. Stuff does. And Brook already having to use Nemesis, and that's a big rampage coming out. Catches Brook, catches Chris, then finds two with that ultimate, but Executed finds a trade on backline, finds two, the Moira doing damage. Hashtag DPS Moira, I love my gold medal Moira. And unfortunately it's not gonna be enough though, because MSU is just able to find more picks coming out. And you're not too upset right now because you're still gonna be able to have a recontest. So the more ultimates you can farm out of MSU right now, you're gonna be in a better spot for the next point. Geo training coming with the Molten Core.
Okay. They are very low. The Juno is gonna take them down with that ability. Shallot's almost falls, but does get the pick in time. And now you just have three people. It's a 3v3 really here in terms of people that are alive. The Juno ult's gonna come into play. So is Brook's ult. Shallot's is gonna be able to escape at least, but you do get point progression if you're Cuddle Puddle.
Yeah, you chose to commit. You chose to play for this point instead of playing for the next one. The bad news is that MSU is gonna have they're gonna have Rampage coming up soon because Kingdom has just been farming that time and time again. Akanan does have the high noon, all against one simple coalescence. I mean, nothing to scoff at. We've seen some way doing some crazy stuff in our league so far. Shout out to 10 for our Division 2 normal team. But it's gonna need to be a miracle for Cuddle Puddle to be able to hold onto this.
Ooh, Kaden is gonna try and find the Juno. Is gonna get the pick as well, so that's one of your supports down. Good. The coalescence is good in terms of timing because you're the only support left. But they take down basically all of the team, and Shellets just has to try and back. They are gonna be able to live, but that's a really tough fight to lose because you don't have much time left to try and win that point back to your side and get the
Executed did what they needed to do. They got the pick and no wait, and Cuddle Puddle is just gonna take this point right now. It's looking like it. They have the numbers advantage. They still have ultimates, and they're not even gonna need to invest anything. Kaden, oh, there was a diabolical little jump there, Andorio. Oh, you did not need to do them like that. And wait, I did not realize we had a Cassidy Saw coming out from the Tracer. I quite like that. I love me some Cassidy like matchups. Very fun to watch. Next point though, it's gonna be a long rotation coming out, and MSU is still gonna have their Rampage. They're gonna be able to farm their ultimates very fast too with that. And Cuddle Puddle is gonna come up with a couple of things, but Geo, if MSU contests at first, Geo wants to use the Molten Core a little bit more defensively versus aggressively. It works once, not sure it will work twice the way that it did before.
Yeah, understandable. And honestly, I really like what we've seen so far from Cuddle Puddle on this map. They're kind of saying, all right, we might have lost the first two maps, but we're coming back for vengeance on this one. Taking an early 0-2 lead as King Vamp is going to pop the ult of their own. Kaden is going to pop the ult as well. They do take down their cast mirror, but they have the Moira that's just doing damage in their backline, and they're going to get taken down from that.
Yeah, and Brook is committing to the annihilation here, but B comes out, so now MSU has numbers advantage and a little bit more healthy. King Vamp finds Chris, and the Moira is really trying to keep Brook alive. Please stay alive, my tank. Brook finds King Vamp. Was that off the map?
That might have been the given the
I
ability to get
hope
them off of the
not.
map. We're gonna say no just for the sanity of the player, but ooh.
Yeah, now can you them making a swap onto the Ramatra? I mean, if it was a fall off the map and they're swapping to it would be really funny for the plot. I hope that's what
For the
happens,
funny,
but I don't
yeah.
think so.
Let's just hope that it wasn't the case, considering the fact that we still have the question
Molten
of play of the
Core.
game, as Molten Core is gonna get popped, and they are gonna fall from it though. Chris, did
Chris
they?
fans are want to get traded though, so they popped the orbital as well. It's only gonna be Brook holding to the point. Just the Ramatra there's the lone survivor out of the very scrappy fight. Geo did manage to get out the Molten Core a little bit enough that he got some value out of it, but he probably wanted to stay alive for that because now MSU is just coming in very fast and they're gonna have the tectonic shock as well as like Suno Rush coming up soon.
I don't want to say it because I could be wrong, but did we see a Juno ult Ajax?
I believe so. We saw Juno Jax.
Juno Jax.
Oh my goodness. And now Gio's getting picks, Brook's getting picks. Brook popping on the Annihilation too, not even needing to hold on to the next point. They just won this. It's gonna be a 3-0 for Suravasa here for Cuddle Puddle.
Yeah.
Caustic. Momentum is on their side. We talked about that. We talked about how they needed to get the reverse sweep and how what better map to be on than Flashpoint, and exactly that. Cuddle Puddle on the board right now. It's not gonna be a 3 Overwatch.
Yeah, honestly, to put it simply, I think the bio break that we take prior to Flashpoint is really helpful for a lot of the teams, just in the fact that it gives you the potential of a mental reset and the ability to say, all right, game plan, what do we go for? You know, we need to change something up. And
that is true.
You see it here. Cuddle Puddle takes a 3-0 on Suravasa, and
it was just very strong of them. Like,
yeah.
again, you kind of were doubting from the pick. Amazing, super smart swap. Shout out to Cuddle Puddle's coach for thinking of that, because it forced off Kaden off the Genji. It was like, because the Torb and the Moira were just being such menaces to him, because what Kaden was being able to do on the other maps was go in, get a quick kill, get out, or get the dash reset to get another kill and then get out. But now with a Moira just being an annoyance to you, and the Torbjorn with the poke damage and the survivability, you're just not able to get as much value out of the Genji right now. And so we saw the Cassidy pick, and Andoria did not shy out of the Casimir either. Like, probably thinking, oh yeah, the Venture, you're annoying, but one flash grenade, you cannot go back into the ground like in a little hidey hole, and you're just gonna die. So great game plan coming out from Cuddle Puddle, great mental reset, and now it's gonna be MSU's map of choice on Escort. I don't think we've seen Escort much, Caustic.
No, we don't see it that much. I mean, to be fair, right? Escort's one of the few maps, or I think it might be, I mean, I'm not going to count Flashpoint, but I mean, I also am going to count Flashpoint because I don't even know if we've seen NJC. Have we? I feel like we have, but I don't remember.
Maybe
on
once,
stream.
But...
Yeah. But out of the map types, Escort's the only one that we've actually seen all 3 maps out of the ones that have 3 maps. We've seen Shambali, we've seen Havana, and we've seen Route 66. So yeah. I don't know.
Now it's gonna be a matter of choice of like what MSU is gonna cut a photo in. I'll say I would not bring them into Havana, because we saw it in the Hollywood hold with the Ash and the Soldier in defense with the Mercy Pocket from Executing. You do not want to go be into that on a Havana on a Havana pusher hold. It's a little bit scary. Very good sidelines for snipers. You don't want to be dealing with that. But now it's a matter of Root or Shambali, and consider what we've seen from MSU. I'm not 100% sure what I would choose here, Caustic. I'll probably choose a Shambali Monastery, but because it's a little bit more horizontal. Root does have some on the high grounds too, because in Shambali it's a lot easier for you to take control of the first high ground. You can just speed laps and just engage your team, and that's been MSU's like strong suit right now, being able to just outpace and out tempo whatever Cuddle Puddle has. So if you're able to just go into their faces, especially around Reinhardt, because again, that seems to be King Vamp's confident pick. So I'm expecting to see that again. Shambali is
Mm-hmm.
probably this better choice. Root, I've seen some people run weird things on Root. I'm not a personal fan of the map. I kind of hate it, but it's just also because it's just a little bit miserable to deal on the first point. I don't like that. Like I don't like holding on it. I don't like attacking on it. With a Reinhardt though, it also I would not go into that map, especially because now we saw Geo pulling out the Torb, and you can do some diabolical devious turret spots on Route 66 too. So I don't know. Are they going to choose Route? Probably. Do I think they should have chosen Shambali? Probably.
So you're going with Shambali as your pick.
Shambali. Yeah, I'm liking Shambali. Why not?
All right.
What the hell? Sure.
So we do have at least one switch coming in prior.
We're getting Pizza Bot back?
No. Not yet, at least. Ninja is coming back in for Shellet.
Okay, so no more of the Venture, probably going back into that
Mm-hmm.
Ninja before of the Rhine.
Yeah, and we are going to see... It is going to be... Shambali.
Shambali! Okay, I redeem myself.
Yeah.
I redeem myself. Which, again, by the way, I should have chosen against Cuddle Puddle, and I know they're good in Hollywood. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Again, my bad. I was familiar with the game. I was just a little bit silly. Shambali, I like this map pick, like exactly for the reasons I mentioned. It's all about tempo in here too. And this first high ground, it's a more horizontal map. You really don't want to be taking a lot of poke. We just want to go very fast with your composition. So you're probably going to be seeing a Lucio. We saw the Lucio Murray coming out for our MSU's backline on Hollywood. So I'm expecting something similar to that, or even the Lucio Ana again. Cuddle Puddle though, if Pizza Bot is not coming in, I am curious to see if we're gonna see the Sigma still, especially on first defense, right?
Yeah,
because that shield can be very strong to really block off sidelines from anybody from MSU.
True, and I mean we are gonna see the side pick as well. They are going to switch sides on the graphic, so Cuddle Puddle is going to be defending first.
That makes sense.
MSU is going to attack.
Yeah. Most teams prefer to defend first because at least you know what to play for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you manage to get a full, great. Like you know where. Okay, so I only need to push to this area point, or okay, if we held them on overtime, we can get more time on attack. Like you can it's easier to make a gameplay on that.
Yeah.
We're seeing G on the Torbjorn. Again, you can do some devious turret spots, especially the perk of the spider turret. So that'll be exciting to see for further down to this map.
Would be the spider turret on this map is nasty. You do see
diabolical.
Kaden on the Genji. I like this pick. I think it's gonna be interesting to see the fights between Andoryu and Kaden, considering I mean the deflect of Kaden's gonna be pretty nasty, as you already see a interesting turret.
Yeah, and I mean now we're going back into the comfort pick for MSU, and again that's exactly what I was talking about. Map. This rotation is just too strong, especially the Lucio on your side. Geo though is still staying alive with the turret, and Brook is able to find Sign first. So now you're down on your main source of healing. You're just playing for trades. Brook finding dangerous low, but the care is great for executed. The more heals is insane. Kaden finds Andorio. You're kind of wondering how that matchup is gonna be, and Kaden is just victorious, finding Geo as well. But Chris gets to the. Oh my god! Wait, how does that happen?
Ooh, I guess they had to have all been low. The supports were dead prior, so Chris got 2 with the homing missile basically, and they still haven't pushed the payload yet. They are now, but
yeah, because you do want to force out high ground control. You want to push Cuddle Puddle a little bit further back, so it's okay to leave payload chilling for a second. You just really want to get some trades early on, but Sign is already falling dangerous low. The poke damage is too much, but it's a big wall. Brook is in a dangerous spot. King then finds Andorio. So now, if you're a Cuddle Puddle, it's looking a bit scary, but Cruz again the savior, killing one, but it's not gonna be enough. It's gonna be clean up for MSU, and they're gonna be able to start getting some payload progress. Sign is just chilling on the little points, and a big stagger onto the Juno.
Yeah, honestly, you're in a really good position if you're MSU Esports, considering the fact of you have 2 coming up on 3 ults that you can combo very well, and I mean even the nano you can include a slam plus the blade. I mean, you've got the May freeze as an option as well instead of the slam, and you're coming up on nano. That beat's coming in pretty soon. I don't know what's the true defense as we see the slam get used already, I guess. Ooh, Brook is gonna pop the ult, gets 2 with the ult, gets a punch onto Medalist prior to that, and Singe just having to back as fast as they can. And the Juno tries to give them a bit of a scare.
Chris like a little peek. Yeah, I want to damage you. And only Annihilation committed there. I think it might have been a little bit of anti-synergy coming out from King Vamp and Ninja for the Ninja there. I think this lamp just went into the maze wall. But I mean, it's a Nano Blade coming out. Is it gonna get anything? Ooh. No.
No, it's gonna get countered.
Oh, that's so unfortunate, Kaden. And now Brook is falling low, but I believe the carry is gonna be good. The Wolf is out, but I don't think it's gonna be enough, Cause it's just clean up right now.
It's really not gonna be enough. This is...
Oh, they commit the Blizz too.
Ooh, this is a really tough position to be in so far, and Chris is gonna be able to escape, so that's good.
Swaps.
No swaps either. And you've got roughly 45 seconds to just try and get something working for you.
I mean, at least you're gonna have the beat out, and it's only gonna be the high new Fondora, so if you can kill the character very quickly, you might not even need to invest it. You can play a little with it very much defensively. The wall is good.
The wall is good.
But it's gonna get the mail. The wall drops a little bit too early, so they're gonna get picked out though. Brook finds a trade onto the tank, and Kaden is trying to get the pick onto Geo. Geo, the little Torbjorn, very sneaky, the little legs running away, but his picks, Cuddle Puddle are fighting picks, and Brook just gets 2. And now, 10 seconds on the clock, can they even get a touch here, Coslick?
I don't think they can. You don't have any, you don't have any people for speed. You don't.
Oh,
no.
I know they're like, I was there, I'm licking the payload, my hammer is on. Please,
so close, yet so far.
Yeah, and I guess what killed MSU there was just, they had the OD comp for Cuddle Puddle, the ults rotation coming out of Cuddle Puddle was just better. They were able to only win fights with using only 1 ultimate. You saw Brook popping Annihilation getting a pick. You saw Enduria popping Hynum getting a pick. They were able to use their support ults defensively. And Kaden was not able to get value out of his Nano Blade. So 2 ultimates down, mitigated by 1 Moira, because they just kited that. They just went away, and the Moira was just in your face with Coalescence. And that was a little bit evil to watch. And it's very sad if you're Genji, you're like, oh my god, it's so close. Please just let me get my dash reset so I can kill you. But unfortunately, it was too little too late, and they were not able to even get a first cap, Caustic. So if you're on Cuddle Puddle, you're so confident right now.
Yeah, it might be a little cheesy, but at this point, I'm gonna say the little Torb that could, considering since that Torb pick, the progress has been going pretty well. You've got some good momentum. Geo currently looking at going to the Reaper for attack. You see the Orisa. I still have PTSD from Orisa meta. Yep, horse meta. Let's see how it goes. I haven't really seen much.
You're gonna take top left too. You just want to contest this because Andoria is just gonna be pushing payload, forcing payload, and that's the big difference between their compositions on attack right now. Because MSU, they had nobody to push payload, so they had to fully take high ground control before being able to push. But now Andoria is just there being a menace, so Kaden cannot even find the front line. They need to contest this tracer so you don't get more point progress. And cooldowns for Orisa are already out. That's the spin, and I believe the goat as well, Caustic. So you need to be able to survive this.
Yeah, they are gonna get the Javelin and the spin back. Javelin's gonna get used, the spin's gonna get used as well. They gabbed the gold, they're gonna use it now. But most of your team, your DPS are down. You're down in the process too.
And this is gonna be a quick push too here from Cuddle Puddle. Like they're gonna make it almost halfway through that checkpoint. Because again, they don't even need a cap. They just need to push around the corner. And Andoria finds Medallion. Lucio, you cannot touch it like as quickly anymore. So you're already gonna be going down one. Orisa's not that fast. And Andoria does have the post bomb. So one good pick, or even forcing out the immortality field for the Baptiste, it's gonna be devastating for MSU.
And Doryu's here trying to find a pulse, and this pulse could be massive depending on who it gets. It doesn't get a stick.
It whiffs, but Caden's already down. Medallius finds Geo though, so they're down the Reaper, but I don't think it's gonna be enough, Cossack. It's looking like it's gonna be a quick push here. Executing finding two. It's gonna be only the poor horse. We have to help with the
beat's gonna get popped.
Beat.
Yeah. You do see the legs locked just to try and get back into the fight as fast as they can. And it's just the question of can they try and swing this into their favor, but so many ults being popped, it's really just a matter of time. And Cuddle Puddle win it, and this is exciting, Nyx.
Is there a reverse sweep, Chad? Oh my goodness.
The reverse sweep alarm is blaring. Knock on wood. I've got my desk. It's made of wood.
It's a little bit scary right now for MSU. And you gotta think what changed now. Like, is it you? Like, do you need to have a little bit of a mental, you need to be able to understand what swaps you need to make inside of your own gameplay? Or is it really just a mental boom right now? You cannot allow yourself. I know Saravas was rough. It was a clean 3-0, and getting full health doesn't help, but you cannot be mentally boomed. You gotta remember, you did well on the first two maps. You're coming in up, so you should not allow yourself to get to you mentally, especially because now you're going to push, and push is again a very momentum-based map. One team fight can just change everything. One miss ult can change everything, and you really need to tighten up your game plan right now. So, are you going back to your comfort pick? Are you going back to the Reinhardt, trying to make that work onto a push map? Or are you going to try something even more outlandish, like maybe even a Mulga?
And Nyx, I don't want to alarm you, as we are going to take a look at the push map options. This is the first time we've seen push on stream.
That's true. Yeah. Oh my god, we're actually getting push on stream.
Yeah, we've done it. It only took week 5 for us to finally be able to show off a push map. Here are the options. You guys have probably seen this graphic a bunch, but we've never had to actually discuss the push maps that are options. We've got Runasapi, Coliseum, and New Queen Street. What do you pick? MSU has the pick.
I hate push. I hate push, so I'll probably not get this right. Absolutely disgusting game mode. It needs to be killed with hammers. I don't care. But if I were MSU, I'll probably select New Queens. If I had to choose a push map, I would choose New Queens. You don't want to play Coliseo. Torb is very good in Coliseo. Again, devious terror spots. And you really don't want to allow Geo to just survive that long again. So probably not call out. I could see Runasapi. I don't really care for Runasapi though. It's just me being a hater at this point. I'll just choose New Queens. Go Toronto, I guess.
I mean, it makes sense that you would pick that, especially considering the fact both of us casters are from Canada.
Not biased at all.
Yeah, no bias at all. We do have, I do have the map pick. Both teams are ready. There's no switches.
Let's go right in. No swaps.
No swaps. They're just going for it, and they're doing it on Coliseo.
Coliseo, one map. I was like, this is gonna be interesting. Again, this Torb is gonna be a little bit scary. Just saying. You need to spot this break it very quickly, and then be able to force the overload out of Geo if you want to kill them very quickly. I don't think we're gonna be seeing anything else other than Torb. Maybe we see the Reaper again coming out, but I don't know, because the Tracer pick from Andoria was also a little bit insane, and Coliseo allows you a little bit more to really try to go for the backline picks. And if you are MSU's backline, you don't want to die early, especially if you still have the Ana, because Science character of choice seems to be the Ana as well.
Who's this robot? We haven't seen them yet.
He's a little push guy. He's just a little guy.
We haven't seen this guy yet on stream.
Yeah, it's welcome into the stream, little push robot.
Congrats.
I
You
don't
made
like you.
it.
I mean, yeah, I like you. I don't like your map, but I like you,
Yeah.
little robot. I love saying hi to the little push robot. Say hi to them. Be nice. And we're seeing a Tracer mirror now. I don't think we've seen Ninja playing Tracer at all. They've been more onto that May pick. So I'm curious to see how are they going to be able to mark Andorio. Probably deciding, yeah, they were too much of a problem. We need to mark them. And we're seeing a Ren mirror right now.
Yeah.
Caustic. No Reinhardt.
And the Juno mirror. You can't forget them. Support.
It's Juno gaming. Very strong.
Important.
Yeah, I mean, it's Juno, very strong, especially the new perk of the missiles. Oh, the perk is diabolical. I don't know who allowed that to happen. But Medalli's in sign already falling dangerously low. The carry's decent, though. But Kaden finds a trade on Dorio.
Medalist is very, very low, but I mean, support gets the support back to at least a decent health pool. Chris is going to fall from Kaden, and it looks like MSU is kind of trying to take some early. Oh, Kaden falls. Trying to take some early, some early progress and kind of say, hey, those first two maps might have not went on our side, but we're not letting you take us down that easily. We're not letting this reverse sweep happen.
Also, I just realized the Kiriko's name is called Medalist.
Yeah, Medalist.
I just realized that.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense. Awesome.
Have you
Great
been
to know.
saying like Medallis or
yeah, like a
Medalese?
weird Spanish, like a weird Spanish version of that. People are falling dangerously low from MSU, but they're just able to kite that out, and the progress getting pushed from Cuddle Puddle, but nothing in sight yet. Kaden tried to mark out Andorio, making a swap into the cast that he doesn't want to take the Tracer duo. Ninja, though, fighting Executing, so you're down to support. Kaden falls, but is the Annihilation coming out for Kingdom, so you just need to run, little Cassidy, run, but it's not going to be fast enough, and Gio's just gonna get staggered in here too. Oh no.
And Brook falls as well, which is going to kind of slow down their spawn. Technically a stagger, I guess. But you see Gio switch over to the Rhine, so...
To the Reaper?
The Reaper, sorry, not Rhine, holy.
Close enough,
Torb is gone, yep.
Yeah, probably really tired of this Ramatra just being in your face. Good shotgun does a lot of damage. It's gonna be a lot of them coming out. So Executor already engaged with this Coalescence, but I can rush to reply to this. It's gonna be Annihilation coming out from Brook soon. It's gonna be dangerous if they're not able to kill this Ramatra very quickly.
You see the satellite? This is just a press Q fight. As Chris gets taken down for it, they can use the satellite of their own. Brook is gonna pop the Ramatra ult in the process as well. And this is really this is basically an equal fight. Yet Ninja takes down the Moira, and King Vamp already almost has their own ult. They were very close to living just like a couple seconds longer and being able to pop that in that fight and potentially switch the momentum of that fight. But now it's gonna be the big question of which ults are going to get used first, and you've got to factor in
the orbital. You have the orbital too from Chris.
You got to factor in the Beyblade combo is what I like to call it. Orbital and Reaper ult.
I mean, you don't even need to layer those two ultimates unless you clean up, especially because Andorio is just gonna get one.
Yeah.
Orbital is just too much of a strong ultimate that you can just use it by itself. And Sign had used their Orbital on the previous fight, so the support Oticon was just in the favor of Cuddle Puddle, and they're still gonna be able to save this Death Blossom coming out. Probably gonna try to get a quick pick into Sign coming in the next fight, or clean up if everybody falls low.
The blade is gonna get picked.
Gets shut down.
Gets taken down. Gio does pop the the Reaper ult and gets two. And that is going to make it so that the point progress is now on the side of Cuddle Puddle. The reverse sweep possibility is alive and kicking.
Yeah, and they're gonna get the butt scratch checkpoint, so they don't even need to worry about that coming into the next fight. Even if MSU gets it, they still need to not only push, but also wait past checkpoint. Sign does fall too, so even more momentum coming to Cuddle Puddle. What is MSU gonna do? Ninja finds Gio. I mean, Spawn Adventure is gonna be helpful, But is it gonna be enough? It doesn't look like it because you're all falling dangerously low, so you need to regroup. And in the meantime, Cuddle Puddle is just getting free progress.
And Brook has the ult that they could use, but
Hey, don't die. Hashtag my caster is dying. King then finds Chris, so that's Juno out. Now it's looking good for MSU, but again, you have such a long way to push. And Doria tried to kite a little bit of the punches, not gonna be enough. Executed though, somewhere. In the backline, getting signs, so that's a Juno down. And Cuddle Puddle is coming back to recontest this. And spawns are gonna, quick forest spawns are gonna be out.
All it took was the push point, push map, for me to have a moment on stream where I see God.
It happened. It happened.
But here we see, I mean, you see the ults get popped. You see the coalescence get popped as well. Brook still has the ult of their own that they could use in kind of a retaliation here, but it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of too late, even though you already won the fight. And now you've got the Cass and the orbital. Obviously,
again, that was what opened up for the big push coming out from Cuddle Puddle.
Yeah.
And MSU is just not being able to find value out of the ultimates like Cuddle Puddle has been. So you need to figure out what is happening. Sign does have the orbital. Again, very strong ultimate. Always a game changer here. But is it going to be enough? Because Cuddle Puddle has one to match and the high noon to get any extra kills.
This is going to be the big question.
Oh, disgusting. Oh, disgusting.
That's 2 down early. And King Vamp is low. They're gonna get taken down too, and that's basically a team kill. Ninja is gonna be able to live for the time being, but that's the entirety of the team gone. And Geo's in a really good position here. They don't have to show their face too early. They've got Blossom.
Yeah, they're probably scouting out and seeing when they can go in with the Death Blossom. Ontario getting a little bit of a rocket to face. We've seen the legs getting like in from Kaden now. Tyre playing the Genji. Can Ninja find anything with his post bomb though? If it can open it up for MSU to get a comeback story going on. But it's gonna be a Death Blossom coming up soon. No, Geo is just being a menace to Metalist.
Yeah, at this point, they're just trying to wait until all of the abilities are gone, and they do find Sin with that, and you have 3 people left. You don't have any supports with you, but you've already taken down most of the team, so you're really able to just, you know, win the fight. And now
Caustic, the reverse sweep is looking scary. Caustic and MSU gotta lock in.
You have a fourth of the time left from when you started, and Cuddle Puddle has a lot of push bot progress. And
yeah, especially because you didn't even get your checkpoint now, Caustic. Yeah. So that's gonna be a free fight win depending on the Oticon. And if anybody falls very quickly, Sign does find Chris though, so it might be the start for MSU to get their own push going. But Brook finds Kaden again. Spawn advantage is gonna be chill. They're gonna get some push going, and they force out the annihilation from Brook though. So a little bit of an interesting choice coming out from the tank of Cuddle Puddle, making the commitment. And you're gonna have 4 ults, probably 5 since it's a post bomb coming out from MSU. You need to win this next fight though.
Yeah, you have to win this next fight. And I mean, for Cuddle Puddle, at this point, you have such an advantage in just like payload progress, even though it's not a payload.
Geo!
Geo takes down Ninja. You see King Vamp pop the ult as well, but they get taken down in the process. Metalist is gonna fall too. The leg's the only one left, but they get taken down in the process. I was gonna say, you have the ability to kind of just focus on getting your ults and then not really popping them right away. You can hold on to them until you have to really use it in response to an ult. And they're in a really good position here. Geo is really close to their ult as well, and Geo's is one of the scariest.
Dorio finds one. Oh my goodness! Another pick on that high note. Again, it's not getting, but it's getting enough. It's always support. Kaden does pop the visor, but it's not gonna be enough, and in the meantime, Cuddle Puddle's just getting even more progress costed. Kaden falling low is gonna die to the vortex. It's only Ninja still alive, dangerously low, and you need to not die here because you need to get a recontest. It's gonna 20 seconds on the clock either way, Caustic, and the point is right there. MSU needs to make a miracle happen right now.
You need a miracle. You need a miracle.
Especially against the death blossom that's gonna be incoming.
If you get the push bot on your side, you cannot walk away from it at all. And the clock is ticking. You have the push bot, but you have to stay with that bot as every second for
but look at the ulticon.
Progress. The ulticon is not in your favor. You have to have a miracle here, but we've seen miracles happen before.
That's true. I mean, the reverse sweep can be considered a miracle too. So
Yeah.
if Chris whips his orbital, it might be a good start for MSU, but they need to get something done very quickly. Geo finds one. It's not gonna be a big orbital. Brook finds one as well. And King Vamp is trying, but it's not gonna be enough, and it's a cleanup on the bot. Caustic! Reverse swap has been achieved. Oh my goodness. A 3-2 for the first time live on our Nebula series.
That's the first reverse sweep on the first time we see a push map.
Oh my god.
History has been made, and history. That's all I can say. This is history for Nebula series. And
Cuddle Puddle can carry the title off not only the first 3-2 on stream too. And oh my god. And again, I think we gotta talk about MVP, and I think you said it best. Is the little twerp that could. In my opinion, Gio deserves that.
Because
again, the Soldier on Hollywood was phenomenal. The Torbjorn swap was insane, and the Reaper again finding picks time and time again. Shout out to Andori, and actually everybody from Cuddle Puddle played extremely well, and the MSU too. It's very hard. It's a very hard loss. Getting reverse slap, it's never easy. But he played so good too for most of the map. You just need to tighten up a little things, probably more of your old usage, and you're gonna be so strong coming up, probably for the next season on your next matches.
Yeah, this has been this. I have to agree with you on Geo being MVP to start off. MSU, this is a tough game to lose, especially considering the standings and all of that. This is a heartbreaker, but you played really well.
It was just a very well fought from both teams.
Yeah, this was just neck and neck. And the reverse sweep is crazy to see.
Oh, it's exciting. The one time Dusty's not here, Caustic.
Maybe Dusty earlier popped in, not in VC, but in, just a little message to us, just to straight up say, I think I'm cursed. Because Dusty isn't here when we have this.
A reverse sweep and a push map, and again.
And a push. Oh my god.
Insane plays, and very well done. Very well done coming from both teams. Keep your head up, MSU, and great job, Cuddle Puddle. Lovely to see. Such a fun match to cast, Caustic. This was Nyx, and this was Caustic. I think everybody's going to be our only match tonight. We're not going to have our Div 2, but we hope to see you next week, as usual.
We're not going to have the Div 2 match, but honestly, I think this makes up for the fact that we're missing that match with a reverse sweep push map final, just on the photo finish, basically. This is this has been a night. This has been
very fun.
Write it down, mark your calendar. This is the first push map, first reverse sweep, and the final match for week 5 streamed matches from Nebula Esports. Come back with week 6 next. And
that's it. Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow next week.
It's really hard to close after what we just witnessed. But
I'm doing it right now. Thank you, everybody, for watching. See you next week. And again, if you're not following, follow Nebula Esports on Twitch. And if you have not joined Discord, join Discord, but I probably believe everybody has. Thank you very much and see you